reminded me we had already done them. I told you, this has been a busy month. And if anybody didn't get, bank statements, they're right here.
Alright, council has returned from closed session. It is 8:40. And I need a certification of our closed session. Only public business matters that are lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were discussed in the closed session to which this certification applies. And only such public business as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, considered by the county council. Certification passes as follows. Madam Clerk, will you call it? Rollins.
Yay.
Sudbury.
Closed session.
Yay. Smith.
Yay.
Wilson. Yay. Kinsley. Yay. Myers.
Yay.
Brown. Yay. And I will send a certification today. Remember signature and initials, please. All right, next up is Pat.
All right. Madam Mayor, the first thing you see is a vote on the proposed budget. So I would like to ask someone to make a motion for the budget. And second, and we're done.
Do we have a,
Sorry, do we have?
do we have a ordinance for passing?
I do not. We're gonna take a vote. I don't know that we need an ordinance. I don't think.
It is by an ordinance.
It is by ordinance.
Yeah.
The budget itself.
Yeah, we have to pass the budget ordinance.
Okay.
Pass the budget.
All right.
So,
May I ask?
So it's a motion to approve the ordinance that
Yes.
contains the, 24 budget, FY 24
that we
budget.
don't have.
That,
It's not here right now.
the budget itself and the tax rate, that really serves as the ordinance. It's a little informal, but it is.
Alright, and, I had actually asked last week if the figures that were on the proposed budget were accurate as to what we have already spent.
No, they are not, but they were accurate as of July 1st, the best we could do. So, we can make amendments as needed, we can up it, down it, we can move money around.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 7 that are big.
I'm sure there are, and I think we will get them closer when we get QuickBooks up and running, when we get all the figures out there, when we know exactly what the income has been and what the expense has been. And if we need to amend it in March or April, we can do that. But I think we have got to pass a budget. And we've been told that we've got to pass a budget. If we don't pass a budget, the General Assembly's gonna pass one for us. Somebody's gonna pass one for us. So we have got to pass a budget. So, a motion. And a second. Yes, yes.
Is it gonna be retroactive? And what's the start date? I guess, when is it gonna take effect?
July 1st.
July 1.
2023.
Yeah, last year.
July 1st, 2023 to June 30, 2024. And as to you definitely can amend the budget as you go along, every locality does. And under 15.22504, the budget is, it's really a contemplated revenues and disbursements, liabilities, reserves, and surpluses. it's not like a reconciliation of accounts. So, the things that are gonna change, that happens every locality.
But what I was looking at, Mr. Flynn, is we know that these figures are wrong. That's all I was.
The thing it has to show is the itemized and complete financial balance sheet for the locality at the close of the last preceding fiscal year. Those are the hard numbers that you have to have, yes ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, if we can shift and pull and push and push and block and knock numbers around on this so-called budget that don't even touch what has already been spent, why couldn't we have done that on the other budget? We had it all worked out in the budget.
Because the other budget was $550,000.
But this one is way off too.
It is probably off, but not by nearly as much.
We've already spent more than,
How do you know that? How do you know what we've spent?
Because I just.
Because your mayor just said so.
Yeah.
Nobody else has seen it.
Alright.
Make a motion that we pass this current budget.
Omar said he has.
I have
Yes.
a question too, that's actually to the, being that the budget itself restructured, people's salaries, how that affect the legal part of that?
That is, you're gonna set out in the budget, actually your total personnel costs, right? And so, if you have this motion tonight to act on the clerk and the clerk of council and the treasurer position, if that changes it, then you would amend the appropriation ordinance at a later meeting. Is that answering your question? Is that?
Well, we have a different structure in that, we kind of changed back. The
Yeah.
dollar figure is like,
You look at the total dollars, and that's the budget
I'm
line.
just talking about the legal side of this, if people choose to fight it, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Well, yeah, the budget is just for planning purposes, this is what you plan to spend for the year.
Right.
And then if there was some debate about an individual's salary, or that kind of thing, that would be separate from the budget, that would be just a personnel action.
Yep. Well, what Omar and I are both are trying to explain is, I'll take the clerk's salary as an example. What is in this budget that we're getting ready to vote on doesn't even cover what has already been spent for the previous one.
Well, I wasn't talking about, I'm just, for legal, I won't, talking about that, I'm making sure
But
that.
this is what I've been trying to explain, Brandon.
Yeah,
That these numbers are not right.
yeah, cause the budget wasn't passed and we were paying a number, I understand what you're saying, that's why I'm saying, the reason why the other one didn't pass, because, look, that's oversight right there. When you get a bank statement like that, Pat, you done a great job, that's oversight, it's gonna get thought of moving forward. I'm
Well,
sorry,
it's-
you feel that.
yes.
Well, then, if it doesn't get better, then fire me.
I'm sorry.
No,
Being that
you've
it's
done a great,
retroactive.
thank you, that's the first bank statement we've had since I've been
No,
here.
it's-
And
All
that's
right,
it.
that's incorrect.
This is-
Stop. Omar has the floor.
Being as retroactive, say employee salaries, I guess they get a raise starting,
It'd be, the raise would start whenever they start, yes, sir.
now, what about money, because when you started there, the people who was making more because they changed the way it's structured, where they had to pay that back. See, that's.
No.
Okay,
No.
we need to make sure that we say the state.
No, because you have a,
I mean, I just want to throw it,
Right.
there's things happening there that,
for each employee, you have an at-will contract, and that contract said, for the town manager, it was X dollars an hour, whatever. Well, that sets what that term is. The budget is your planning purpose for the whole year, and it needs to be changed, and that's, they do all the time.
I just want to make sure that
Yes, sir.
the budget counts change the structure.
Yeah,
And you know that, right?
yeah.
That's what I'm.
Okay.
Yay.
Impaired,
No,
Smith,
I was in yay.
Wilson, no. Kinsley, yay. Byers,
Yay.
Brown.
Yay.
Motion passes. Alright, y'all stop.
Can we have a motion coming out of closed session? Can we have a motion for what went on in there?
Alright, just a little bit of background with the closed session. We actually did discuss personnel issues, regarding clerk and treasurer. We would like to offer Miss Max the clerk's position for reporting clerk. If she is interested for a 30-day probationary period at $14 an hour. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. 30 days. Okay, 30-day probationary period. Ms. Mack has graciously agreed. Can I get a motion to Mrs. Smack, Wanda Smack, in our recording clerk for our meetings at $14 an hour?
Make a motion.
We don't know because we don't know how long the meetings will last.
It'll be part-time though.
Hour be.
Yeah,
That's where it says two, right?
yes, work sessions too. Last week, our meeting lasted 22 minutes. So it varies. But anyhow, I have a motion to
Can we-
hire.
Can we round up to the nearest hour? 'Cause I mean, that's kind of crazy. Don't y'all, I mean,
Gotta be a minimum.
I like even numbers. I mean, like round up to the nearest hour.
Randy, I've been doing quarter hours.
A minimum of 1 hour.
Minimum of 1 hour. If you drive out here, yeah. It's a minimum.
That's why I asked you.
I've been doing quarter hours on
Quarter,
the others,
okay.
but
I'm just wondering.
it's easy enough to do. It's easy.
Alright, so I have a motion and I have a second for hiring Wanda Smack, $14 an hour, work sessions, and council meetings, and any other meetings that we may end up having. Alright.
And let's tell Wanda, the icing on the cake is there is a laptop available for you to have at home, so you don't have to come up here and use these computers to type it and this late at night and all this. You can have the laptop at home. It's still the town's property, obviously, but you have it at home to use anytime you like.
Alright, again, there is a motion and a second to hire Wanda Smack, $14 an hour. Madam Clerk, will you call roll? Rollins?
Yay.
Shuberry?
nope,
Smith?
Yay.
Wilson? Yay. Kinsley? Yay. Byers?
Yeah.
Brown?
Yay.
Alright, it passes.
How about for clerk?
I'm getting there. Right.
Just making sure.
Alright, the other thing that we discussed was treasurer. And we will have to actually do some adjusting to our ordinance, because right now our ordinance says that the clerk is also the treasurer. So we will have to actually, amend that ordinance. But what council discussed was the hiring of a treasurer. And they were interested in hiring Judy Captions at $14 an hour, also with a 30-day probationary period. All right, hold on, I have a question.
Can the ordinance be amended now so that the vote can be taken to hire Judy now?
Madam Mayor, actually, you could go ahead and hire, and then you'll need to amend, you mean the budget ordinance?
Whatever ordinance the mayor said needed to be amended, because it says that the secretary treasurer is one
Oh,
person.
that, we'll take care of that separately.
I make a motion that we hire Judy Houchins as treasurer, at $14 an hour on a 30-day probation.
Rollins,
Yay.
O'Berry, Smith,
Yay.
Wilson, no. Kinsley,
Yay.
Byers,
Yay.
Brown.
Yay.
And Judy is hired.
Congratulations. She's been working hard. The next item on the budget, on the list is the John Deere tractor at Waverly. We need to get something done with this tractor. It's been there for months now. We've spent $700 on it. It's not fixed. It will take another, he said, $2,800 to fix it. And then it would be brought back and would be usable here. I asked Donald about the tractor, and he said, we've got a working tractor here now. So he's kind of the opinion that we've got a tractor, why are we fixing another one and getting it here and spending more money on it? But council, we need to talk about it and decide. I mean, it's been months now, we just need to come to a decision on what to do with this tractor.
I thought it was already made.
I haven't read that we decided. What did we decide?
They decided that they did not want to replace the alternator.
Okay.
They actually have been given that information. The council voted to not
Okay.
do it, and we're just waiting for practice.
Okay, do we need to contact the place in Waverly and ask him to bring it back? Okay, and at that point, what are we going to do with it? Sell it or keep it or?
The intent was that we were going to sell it.
Sell it, okay, all right,
That we were actually gonna put it out for bid.
okay,
We were going to actually put a dollar amount that nobody can actually say in public
okay,
on that
Okay.
as our reserve price.
reserve, okay,
Because if we say it out loud in public,
yeah, I got you, okay,
So we're getting
I'm sorry?
excessive storage fees. I was talking to the guy who was working like, he
Uh-huh.
just happened to be at the rescue squad banquet.
yeah,
And that's why I brought it up.
Uh-huh.
Came up with the conversation, said, oh, I wouldn't want to work on it. And I asked him, because it's been a long time.
it's been a good while,
They might, so when you talk to them, make sure we kind of avoid.
Okay. What do you call those fees?
Storage fees.
Storage fees, okay. No storage fees, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say good luck, but anyway, that might be another $2,800.
So we might as well do it.
Okay, so we'll, yeah, if that's the case, we'll say keep it, go ahead with it, okay. All right.
So, can you clear that up, Pat? You gonna ask them to bring it back and pay whatever bill is owed
We owe
there?
$700 right now.
If you're gonna owe storage fees, you do something every 3 months, 9 times out of 10.
I'm afraid so. I
I
don't
know
know that we
so.
can talk him out of
Then you're gonna
storage
pay to
fees.
get it hauled back over here unless you go get it yourself.
Right, so that's why I was, might want to waive it, word it, might want to say.
But didn't you say something about working on it?
Put a master kill switch on it.
Didn't you say that would work?
It just kills all the power, keeps the battery
Like the
from
fire.
draining.
Kill.
Master kill. Put it in line to the battery to the ignition, and it keeps the battery from draining, and something's draining the
Okay.
battery.
Okay.
But John Deere's not gonna do that, but that is,
That is a fix.
it's
It's a safety issue.
it's an aftermarket fix, and they're a dealer, and they're gonna only do what the dealer requires them to do. So that's
So if
my terms, jury rigging.
But once we get
You
it back
probably did
here,
it
then
Paul.
we can decide whether we want to do that or whether we want to sell it, put it up for bids or whatever. Ruth, you had a question?
No, that's all right.
The resale, will doing that drastically affect the resale value?
No.
Okay.
Most people install them anyway in case you got drivers on big trucks that forget to turn the ignition key off or leave an FM radio on, they won't drain the battery over the weekend. A lot of them in big trucks now, it's factory equipment.
All right, so we'll try to take care of that, get that taken care of. Do you know where the safety deposit box key is? Okay, Kenny said it was taped to the top of the safe when he was here. Now, where's the safe? What
Yeah,
safe?
where is the safe?
That's not a question. I don't know.
Or is it?
We don't have a safe, to my knowledge.
Right, I haven't found one, I haven't seen one. He called it a safe. Now, I don't know what he's calling a safe, and I'll ask him to come in I'll ask him to come in the building and show it to me.
I have no clue.
Okay.
You said it
To my
was
knowledge, we don't have
money in the Dropbox. Could you physically see the money in the Dropbox? 'Cause somebody mentioned.
Okay, now, we're talking two different things now. Okay, safety deposit box is at the
Oh,
bank. Okay, the box that was here, when you come in the door, you know that little drop box there? That's where we found almost $2,000 in cash.
Outside, on the outside of the building.
Statements
Inside.
On the
you
inside.
mean it's just cash and nothing else?
It was just cash and change.
Okay, let me ask you
No,
this.
no writing.
No tax statements
No,
attached?
no tax
Okay,
statement.
so if there's almost $2,000 in the Dropbox, and the receipt book is missing, we read that anyway, what was it?
It's just kind of up in the air.
I think it was
What
something
date
that
was
was
it?
taxes then.
With the.
That we found the money. Was it that Friday, girls? We were all here. Right, Saturday. It was the 13th. I think it was probably cash that was paid for, taxes, it was receipted properly, the cash was put in there, and it just accumulated over time. I think our problem was, you need like $100, you know, petty cash.
Petty cash.
Yeah, I mean, basically it was petty cash.
But that would, I'm sorry.
Well, we can't reconcile it, no, we can't reconcile it. Yeah. If somebody came in and paid $100 tax bill in cash, right, they would.
So we need the receipt book.
We need the receipt book. But anyway,
Who would use that?
I'm sorry.
Who would use that?
They're in the clerk's office.
Who would use what?
The box you're saying, you put cash in there like that.
Who would use it?
Like, 'cause I-
You know, I'm not sure, because if you've gotten as far as getting into that vestibule,
Get a receipt.
you talk to a person and pay your taxes.
It depends on what time they get
But that door is locked.
here.
But you can put it in from outside.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can one of them, but not the one that had the money in it.
Yeah, the one on the inside,
Uh-huh.
it actually has a flap.
But you can't get to it because the door to the vestibule is locked. If you're not here, that door's locked.
No, ma'am. No,
You
ma'am.
didn't lock that door?
When Donald and them come in, that's
Uh-huh.
the reason that there's there was a lock on the center door, because we have all of our supplies
Yeah.
back there. We
That
have
still
a
didn't make sense to
refrigerator
me.
with all of our stuff.
Yeah, it still didn't make sense.
And people actually come in and they use the drop box to park in there.
I don't, but anyway, you don't know anything about the safety deposit box key from the bank? Okay. We got a note, somebody did, to refund $19.50, and I don't know what it was for, and I don't know who it's to. Was it copies?
That was
It was
for
copies.
Yeah.
Who do we owe it to? To whom do we owe it?
Me.
Okay, all right. Alice, we will get you $19.
It's actually not the full $19.50 because if I'm not mistaken, it was the first 15 pages, or anything after 15 pages you have to pay for, correct? So I technically should have paid $2.50. So it's technically like $17.
Okay, all right. So $17 and you'll be happy, right? Okay.
Far from it, but it's a start.
Okay, we'll start there. Okay. I noticed in looking at, some, I think it was Lowe's bills, they were paid for by a credit card that ended in 2573. Do you have that card?
We don't have a credit card, we have a debit card.
That was the debit card? Okay. All right. You got a debit card?
From VSB.
Not a Visa debit card. Because we don't have MasterCard. This was a Visa that ended in 2573. No? Want me to go back and look and make sure?
Depending on what it was, I might have used my own.
Okay. And got
Yeah,
reimbursed?
we don't have,
Okay.
not have a credit card.
Okay, all right. So no Visa, okay. There's been a question about the Christmas tree, and, I don't know whether I was here for this discussion of the Christmas tree or not. I might have been in the hospital, I don't know. Supposedly, the tree was supposed to cost in the $4,000 range. The bill that came in and was paid was $6,600. Can you tell us why there was such a big discrepancy?
That night when the question was asked, that was guessed. This was a little over 2 years ago, that was purchased, so I can't remember how much it was.
And this is the tree that was up at the clubhouse?
Yeah.
The
that's
big
our
one,
Christmas
the
tree
great
light.
big one, okay. I need for the council to be sure that you want to do refunds to Marlo Jones in full for his deposit, and a refund in full to Sean Lundy for his deposit, both of them at the restaurant. And we have 2 accounts set aside, they're savings accounts. Their deposits were put into the savings accounts, and now they've got a little bit of interest. It's like $10, $15. So it would be, $1,615, and I've forgotten the other one. Was it $1,200 and something? Anyway, clean out those 2 accounts, give the money to Marlo and to Sean. Will Robinson went to court when Marlo went to court, and he told me that Marlo, if he gets his deposit back, this is the end of it. He will not sue the town or anything else. This will end right here and right now. Now, Sean has not, Sean has said, if the town sues me, I'll sue you back. We haven't sued him. We have not actually gone to court with him. And
Lundy owes us a lot of money.
not legally, because he told you why. Because the contract was never signed, and that was not a legal contract. So he did not owe that money for that year. And I think we have a lawyer who will agree with us that that money was not owed.
Well, is that the fellow that Just,
restaurant.
and I
Yeah.
believe council said to him that they would do a refund, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but you have three of these council members that were not here when Mr. Lundy was in.
Well, I think we had but you had a majority, I mean, I was
And,
trying to remember, and the minutes might reflect that.
and, you know, just the utility bills alone, with no interest, with no late fees, with no anything, it is over $20,000.
How far we away from taking that to court if we were to pursue that?
I don't know.
Do we have enough documentation to pursue it in court? Probably not, correct? That's, I mean, let it be a dog lie and just be done with it.
I think it's either $1,200, $1,400, whatever, I think it's $1,200. $1,200 plus interest. And I think Lundy will just say, I'm done. Now, if we try to sue him,
Do we have the documentation to do it in court?
I don't think so.
Will Robertson said that he had a file on him, but he did not have all the documentation that was needed. I don't know what he needs.
Shit, they both of them left me, and I don't think we need to get none of it back.
Well, you're gonna get sued big time by
Well,
Marlo
I've
Jones.
got pictures of it. I've got pictures of both of them, the mess they left that night. Cause I went over to look at it, walk back, go through whatever, on both of them. And I got pictures on my phone right now, showing exactly how it looked when they left.
We're not losing out, Ms. Jones.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I can't.
Marlon Jones will be the easy fix, just return it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we didn't lose anything, right? We actually gained something.
Well, he
Most
never,
likely
he
not.
never paid any rent, but, you know,
Right, but you don't tax.
he did a lot of work to the building. And he had meals tax.
So we need a motion.
All right, need a motion, or whatever you wanna do. And do you wanna do them separately?
All right, I have a resident that has to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
May I ask a question, being on this restaurant case? When Mr. Lundy was in here and gave his 30-minute speech, did you or did you not, Mayor, give him the chance?
No. When we all, these 120 chairs, when Mr. Jones actually went into the building to look at it, the very same day that Lundy was referring to the police officers, which these two council members sitting right here asked me to call the sheriff on Mr. Lundy because he was not supposed to be in the building.
No, I'm gonna dispute that, you asked us if they call them.
Yeah, I have
Multiple people there.
zoning and planning members in the back that will contest as to what we'll see. But anyhow, we all counted the 120 chairs that night, so why are they not 120 chairs?
I didn't count them. The room was open and I did see a bunch of chairs stacked in there. I don't know what you did.
I counted every one of them, and I counted them twice to make sure it was right.
All right, but I had the floor, if y'all would let me finish my statement. The man said he has 10 chairs in his garage. Either we need to go after him for receiving stolen property, or somebody needs to own up and figure out how these chairs left the restaurant and went to somebody's house for a birthday party. Christmas party, birthday party, family reunion, I don't care what it was. But he stood right here, said, I have the chairs. So then we need to pursue the chair issue before we give anybody's money back and find out the real reason why the chairs left the restaurant, because that is community property and it cannot be given away, sold, or nothing without a town hall meeting. And so, I mean, we got a man saying he's got them.
So you mean tell me information, and that was the biggest argument, that could have been, all that could have been avoided because we tried to change.
Do what?
So that's why.
Can't hear you.
That's why, Mr. Marlowe's, deposit wasn't given back on the custom chairs and the fire extinguisher. But if you knew what the chairs was, saying,
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, so
He didn't take the chairs to Lundy's house.
no, but,
you're penalizing two people for
Right.
one item.
right.
And then somebody is guilty of something and somebody deserves their money.
Didn't he say that he had a message from the mayor? I can't recall.
Cell
what
phone.
the-
He said
Didn't he say he had a cell phone picture? Yes, I
He had a
didn't
picture of
look
him, I
at it,
saw it.
I don't know, but if he can get
I'm
the
just
chairs
asking,
back.
what we give money back. I mean, there's 10 chairs, they were valued in court by court records at $112 a piece. That's $1,250.
So which one of them said they had chairs?
Lundy.
Lundy.
Lundy. So if Lundy brings the chairs back, we're good, giving it his money back? Is that what you're
I'm
trying
just
to
asking,
say?
I mean,
Yeah.
before we start handing out
I
money,
just don't
somebody's
understand.
guilty of taking the chairs, and somebody deserves their money back. Somebody didn't do us wrong.
Yeah, the town
The town's being the one lost.
10 or 12 chairs, okay.
So they had to be separate.
The man that I heard speak at a public hearing didn't say he took the chairs, he said he was given the chairs.
That's why I asked, but they give it to them.
So if that, I don't know if that's true or not, but he said that. And in my opinion, it's just a lay opinion, I think both gentlemen should get their deposits back. That would be a very small amount of money to hopefully buy your peace and make them happy. Without regard to whether they are deserving of it or not, I would just give them their money back.
I thought the town of Jarratt had the money.
I believe that the deposits for the restaurant had been set aside separately.
But with this new information, I mean, Mr. Molly Jones, that should be just something was part of that, because that would explain where the chairs were.
Is that a motion?
I move to give Mr. Molly Jones his deposit back based on this information.
I second that.
The motion is from Mr. Jones.
Separate, correct?
Yeah. Alright, I have a motion on the floor and a second to give Mr. Jones his security deposit back in the amount of $1,600.
Little some change.
Because of, and change. In return, Mr. Jones stated that he would not come after the tax.
Exactly.
So if I could say that motion actually should require that he sign a release for any matters regarding that property.
Prior to picking up
We
the
do
check.
have our attorney's word for that. I mean,
I would recommend having
Right,
him
exactly.
sign the release.
So we're gonna adjust it a little bit, that Mr. Jones will receive his deposit back after signing a release.
at the time of signing it, maybe we can get him to drop by and pick it up and he'll sign the release, we'll give him a check.
And then give him a check.
Okay. Is that the motion?
Yeah, I've got a motion.
Okay.
I'm waiting for one. Rollins,
Yay.
McFerry, Smith,
Yay.
Wilson, abstain. Hensley,
Yay.
Byers,
Yeah.
and Brown.
Yay.
Motion passes. Alright, the next one.
Well, how about if Lundy does,
Right,
if Lundy gives the chairs back, is that
I'm
the thing?
going here next.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't have to even say he had the chairs.
He didn't.
He said he was given.
He said he was given.
And since we don't know, I think Ms. Parsons' idea is probably relevant to this, and I think it works. Lundy says he was given the chairs. We say no, he needs to give them back. We could fight this battle forever. Is it worth $1,200 to fight this battle over and over again? No, he hasn't said he would give them back, he just, he said, he was letting us know that Marlo Jones didn't steal the chairs, he was given the chairs.
And Judge said it would not work for $12.
That ain't right to go to.
I don't know, I think I get that.
Alright, so, next order of business is Mr. Lundy, is there a motion to give Mr. Lundy his security deposit back if he brings the missing chairs?
In the amount of 12, what is it, 12?
It's 1,200 and a little bit, whatever the interest.
Whatever interest, I think it's less than $100 interest. I saw the picture of the chairs in his basement, that was all.
Madam Mayor, if there's a question about whether he actually has the chairs.
No, he showed us a picture of them.
Okay.
No, he hasn't. He said he's given chairs.
To clarify, he wanted his refund for how long? Like a year and a half? And approximately when was it determined that Mr. Lundy has the chairs?
At the last meeting.
So what was the reason for not giving him a refund for 18 months ago and 16 months ago and 12 months ago and 8 months ago? Because this chair issue didn't exist with him until 2 months ago.
The way he left the restaurant, it's not be the only reason, but the way Lundy and the way Jones both left the restaurant, I got pictures of it, is one of the reasons why they didn't get their money back. We voted against it. Am I right or am I wrong?
So basically, yeah, it was the fire extinguisher and the chairs. So now that we found out that the chairs wasn't an issue, and then he had a receipt for the fire extinguisher. So now he's out there.
I'm just saying, making it conditional on resolving the chair issue, that's a new thing that happened in the last couple of months, and whatever the issue was before that, if there was a good reason before that, then that good reason might still exist. And if there was no good reason before that, then he needs his money back. And I'm not saying it's a good reason or not. I'm saying that I think his refund should not be dependent on the chairs at all, in my opinion.
And that's Mr. Lundy, you talking about Mr. Lundy?
The commission council voted to not give him his refund is the condition that the restaurant was in and the fact that he owed us a large amount of money for his utilities.
I think it was poor management that we didn't make the bills put in his name to start with. Honestly, so I think we failed again. Honestly. I was not on council when he was in that restaurant. I think that the bill should have been put like where Marlo, the Parker propane, water, sewer, everything goes in the tenant's name.
So you need to put it to rest.
Yeah. Let it be a dog life.
Well, I'm gonna, the 10 chairs, I don't know if it's 10 or 12, I've heard both things. Okay, those chairs, if I'm not mistaken, were bought in 2015 when Wilson's Barbecue went in there. That's 9 years ago. I don't know about y'all, but my butt sat on those chairs quite a few times. And I think everybody in town that went, you know, that went there, you sat on those chairs quite a few times. In 9 years, they have been used. And they might have been worth $112 9 years ago, but they're probably worth 10 now, maybe. Yeah, or, he might, right. So we're fighting, not fighting, we're discussing $100, $200 worth of chairs.
Ms. Wolf, I brought it up, I'm sorry I did it when all this is going on, but Mr. Jones was convicted of property that he did not take and was ordered by the court in Sussex County to pay $1,250 for these stupid chairs. And I don't think it's fair for that man to be charged for them chairs in court if he did not take the chairs and did not have possession of them chairs.
Perjure themselves in court.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the big thing with me, with Jones's refund. He deserved every dime back.
I don't think he was convicted.
He was not charged.
He wasn't convicted of anything.
Not charged.
I know what you're saying.
I'm no English major, but he was made to pay that money back.
No.
He appealed it, he appealed it, and the judge threw it out and said no.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, so we
Marlon was out no
we
money.
good, Jones, we already voted.
Jones is right.
Right, we good.
Yeah, we're good on Jones.
So we're gonna, yeah, we.
But I'm saying, are we gonna sit here and talk for 30 minutes about $200 worth of chairs?
Oh, no.
We know what it is.
Give it back to them.
Well, I don't have a motion yet.
Yeah, somebody please.
Make a motion.
Make a motion.
All right, because it's all legal stuff and it's on the pass out. I'm gonna make a motion to refund Lundy his $1,200.
Plus any interest.
Plus the interest.
That close that account.
Right, and then that
Make him
close that
sign a
account,
release
be
too.
done. Now, we've got, and that's separate from any litigation that you may have.
Absolutely.
in the future.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, we're
let's
not,
keep it
And
separate.
conditioned upon a release, him
Right.
signing.
he signs a release.
Madam Clerk.
Rollins,
Yay.
O'Leary,
No,
Smith. Who seconded it?
And,
Because I had a
oh,
motion.
and
I had-
did.
Okay, but yeah, I did not hear a second. Smith,
Yay.
Wilson, abstain. Kinsley,
Yay.
Myers,
Yeah.
Brown.
Yay.
Okay.
We won't see that on the agenda again, folks. Please.
No discussion on it.
The last item on here, Jerry Rose is an electrician who put some lights in the building at one time. The clerk's office has one light, not nearly this bright. It's about half this bright. It's one of, it's awful. Judy was sitting at this desk, I was sitting at this desk, and it was awful. So I went to Walmart on my own, bought the little clip-on lights so that we could actually see our desk. Not a good solution, but it, you know, it's there. They're not gonna last forever because I think they cost $8 a piece, so they're, you know, cheap. But anyway, we would like to get Jerry Rose, who has done work here before with the lights, to put additional lighting in the clerk's office. Now, the one in the mayor's office is okay, I'm not having any trouble in there, but my eyes are not good enough in the clerk's office to see well. I have a hard time, and Judy has a hard time. So, we don't know a cost, we haven't asked about a cost, but if you would like to put a limit, I mean, a ceiling, say up to so-and-so amount, that's fine. Or just, you know, I'll do what I've done before, when he comes in and says, okay, it's gonna cost X number of dollars, I will email all the counselors and say, do you approve or not? Well, that's not, you know, it's not formal, it doesn't get in the minutes, but at least it gets your approval, because I'm not spending money without your approval.
I'm sorry to be a pain, but if you
Well, then
have,
sit down.
yeah, sorry. But if you have counsel responding to you like that, that's, somebody construe that as a meeting of council.
We have a lot of that going on.
So-
We have, because of things going on, yeah. We have a few
There's,
times.
and members of the public, there's nothing wrong with the town manager calling each member individually and saying it's, you know, $850, whatever. Do you agree? That doesn't bind anybody, but that's not a violation. But if you send an email to everybody and they all respond, it can become a meeting.
And a good
So we just send it.
I'm sorry.
A group text as well, right?
Yes.
That would be considered the same thing?
Right. So in other words, individual text or,
Yeah.
okay, we can do that. Now, about our light. What do you want to do about our light?
You're gonna wire it, hot wire it.
Yes, it'll have a switch. It'll have a switch.
You said this is, he a licensed electrician? Alright, can you please look at that hot water heater too, because there's several fire hazards and open junction boxes throughout this structure that needs to be fixed as well. So all these 4x4 covers, 2x4 covers, all that needs to be addressed as well.
He actually installed that.
Well, obviously he didn't put this cover back on. But the hot water heater got three hot wires in there, like with insulation. That
Maybe it
needs
should
to
be
have
somebody
a
else's
cover.
stuff.
What's that?
If he left it like that, maybe you shouldn't be using him as.
Maybe so, that's why I asked, was he licensed? I don't know. the
Do
guy.
we have another electrician that we know?
Yeah, I think we got one right in the morning somewhere. Right, we got an electrician.
Ronnie, you still got your license?
Maybe something got bid.
He's competent.
License insurance,
When, before Lane passed away, my license expired. And, I was taking care of her. I had him 37 years, and I hope for that I say yes. But I can't say yes, and I ain't got a
Does Ryan Robertson have a license?
Who's Ryan Robertson?
He can.
He do it, okay.
Ronnie, is anybody you can recommend? Being you've been in the field 37 years. Good luck getting him.
Maybe you should put out bids.
What's the name of them?
Bid it
Just put out bids.
All right, okay.
Oh,
I see what you're saying about the bids, but put it in paper, it's like $200
Tommy Turner.
paper, and then 3 papers.
Tommy Turner.
Tommy Turner.
Spend 3 times what you.
That's what I've been
spend on
sending
life.
stuff to.
Tommy Turner. He's like,
Yeah, I said we did.
Not Tommy Turner.
I don't know, that's what he was saying. I didn't say Tommy Turner.
Guys, get a few names,
No.
put it out there, have them actually give you a
Okay, all right, very good. Without actual, see, I'm saying, if you go out on bids, and you're talking about paper, you're talking a couple $100 per paper, $600. And if it's a big job, that's fine, it's well worth it. Good idea what you're saying, let them quote you, if that suits everybody. Get 3 or 4 quotes. Okay, all right.
I'll
We'll
get
do
with you
that.
on scope of work, because the scope of work, like exit lights, that's something they can fix in this building.
Would you do something for me? Would you write down the things that you know that need to be done in this building so I can put it in
Tear
a,
down the building.
A scope of work
I'm
is what you're
sorry.
asking for. A scope of work is what you're asking for.
Yes.
Tear it down and build another one.
That's in store.
No, I'm gonna put that in motion.
uh-huh.
I can get you a scope. That ain't none to do.
All right.
All right, so the motion is to get a scope of work of everything that you want, and
Now remember, I want the lights.
Yeah, all that's included.
Brandon wants
So
everything.
that's my, motion.
I want to build that.
And I want a second.
Right.
I second that.
Okay. All right.
Rollins,
Yeah,
O'Berry.
voting on the.
We need to actually explain what we're actually voting on, because everybody didn't hear the motion.
Brandon is going to get a scope of work, he's calling it, and that's good. There are lots of things that need to be done, and I think he's right, because it's an old building, things have been patched, and, you know, so he's gonna get a list of things that need to be done, and we will, if y'all help, because you know electricians that I don't know, so if you do, send me names, and we will send this list, those names, get their bids on it, and discuss it. I would say discuss it next meeting and make a formal work session, but then you have to vote on it at the meeting next time, and then we can move forward.
Yeah, if you just let all of them know you need it
Yes,
prior
yes.
to that first Monday.
I got a question. Somebody recommended Tommy to,
Tommy Turner.
Audience, they hit.
is that his name?
I guess, who's electrician?
Who? Tommy Turner.
To do this, he did some work, if I'm not mistaken, at the clubhouse. Didn't he make a bid here one time, say it, and did some work on top of some of them clubhouse?
I want to say he had put in a bid, but,
AC, huh?
I won't.
No.
So it's when we got the grant funding for the water and sewer. But he didn't get the bid, it was, road ended up.
Well, somebody went up there and did some on top of his clubhouse and did it wrong.
Tommy Turner
He
hadn't
did?
done any work.
Oh, well,
Not to
I
my
know he
knowledge,
was,
yeah, not to my knowledge, he hadn't done any work for the town.
Well, I think what's gonna happen is, if y'all will send me names, and I'll put them together, send out what we're gonna do, let them come in and bid, and then when the discussion comes at the next meeting, if you know somebody, you know, Joe Smith is not a good electrician, but he was on the list, and he's done bad work for you, then we strike him off. You know, by having lots of input from the citizens, and then the council sitting here deciding, I think we can do that, and we can do that with other things, you know. Okay. Is there a motion?
I got a discussion on this.
Yeah.
Clerk stated that we have an active zoning and planning committee, correct?
I do not, I think that,
Mayor?
no, I think that goes away with the, if there is a new administration, if you will, or like July 1st, it went away. So it
Alright,
has to
so
be
if that
redone.
only voids itself, what happens to the capital improvement plan that was voted on, about a year ago for $28,000? I do believe some of that capital improvement was included in this building.
Put a goal
where's
in the
that?
patient, if me and you on
Well, it's
zoning
never,
change.
I think it's never been done, I think it's never been allocated from that $28,000 to anything. And that's a good point, that's where we get the money to pay for this, in the budget.
Mr. Flynn, my understanding is you have the zoning and planning commission, their time on commission does not expire just because of administration.
Correct. They're for terms,
Yeah.
planning commissions are for terms.
Who is owner planning commission there?
Keith, Harley,
Well, actually, three of them.
but yeah, I have to get you, I have to get you those.
But I'm saying that committee is disbanded until a new one is, no,
No,
no? No?
they have their term.
Okay.
Now, yeah, the three that were elected to council, they get replaced, and I've talked to a couple of people that are very interested. One of them sitting here tonight. But yeah, there are people that are interested. We've just got to
And I think we need to make sure that we know that the zoning, commissioner or planner, or the person who gives out zoning
and
permits,
that's the clerk.
that's the clerk, okay? Another Judy. Okay. Treasurer.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
Yes.
So Wanda would have to do that.
Yes. Alright, that actually
Did we vote on that?
everything on the agenda?
We didn't vote.
Okay. Alright, you had made the motion that,
Where's the office on, out of curiosity? I was trying to get a date, a hard date on this.
well, we actually never voted to change the dates.
No,
all the
not,
time.
no, I'm just saying the actual office, so I can get in here and get like, do a quick walkthrough, that way I can get a scope of work. What do you got an office on today?
Tuesday,
Well, let's see, this last week it was 7 days.
Okay,
But
7
anyway,
days. I'll give you a call.
just call me.
I'll have you a scope of work, like close of business Thursday. Cause I don't set a time frame, I'll forget about it.
alright,
Okay.
so the motion was that, over I put on the floor, that Rollins is going to do a scope of work. Is this just gonna be for the lighting in the office?
I'm gonna do the electrical, and I'm gonna do a small walkthrough, and we're gonna try and get these exit lights and get this building up. Cause this is, I mean, cause if we lost power right now, this is not a emergency generator backing us up. It would go completely dark. Nobody would be able to see to get out of either one of these exits. We're gonna put battery operated exit lights on the top of both of these doors.
Why don't y'all table until he goes through and gets his.
But no, she wants to get a vote so we can go on and get it out, and then
Yeah,
we'll do that at the work session.
He's gonna come, Brandon is going to come, get a scope of work, excuse me, a scope of work, and he is going to give the scope of work to Pat, so that Pat can actually get in touch with some contractors to get to work on the light and the clerk's office.
Yes, but other things too.
Yeah.
His scope of work.
That's the major thing in there, so that you can go ahead and get that out to the contractors for that. I have that motion from Omar. Is there a second? Madam Clerk. Rollins.
Yay.
Barry. Smith.
Yay.
Wilson. Yay. Hensley.
Yay.
Byers.
Yeah.
Alright, and that motion passed, and the two of you guys will be getting together this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it by close of business Thursday. Should I have a scope of work?
And if you send contractors, please put their telephone number, or somehow I can get in touch with them.
Pat, do you have a town email?
I do not right now. It's patward@gmail.com.
Thank you.
He just gave her the duty to do, the planning. So she would have to have some kind of office out that she's here, but it would be every day. We would have to post that.
Basically, the only thing that the administrator has to do is they've got to sign off on, your building permits, or somebody might bring something in for a certification of occupancy or something like that. So, they can leave that here, they can leave it for her here. Pat can give her a call and say, I've got X, Y, Z down here, that we need you to sign off on, and it'll be very simple.
We don't do many of those, do we?
We don't.
We've never been challenged on it. The reason why I asked, because the building official technically is the only person that can issue a CO in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
We don't issue them.
You said some CO certificate,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
The,
sound right.
the county actually issues them, and then we have to
Deal
sign,
form.
we have to sign off on
Okay.
them as well as the county.
And Madam Mayor, what Madam Mayor is saying is that, Brandon, is that the CO that you sign off here is the zoning CO.
I got you.
That complies with zoning,
Yeah,
not
so
building.
we not coming buildings. We ain't gonna get that.
We don't.
Building.
Alright, okay.
The minutes that Pat you grabbed during the closed session. I have page 1, 2, and 3 of 4,
Okay,
but there's not a page 4 over there.
all right. You probably just didn't copy, stuck together. I'll have it next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to, retouch up on what I said earlier about able to get into the clubhouse to get our belongings. Which council member,
We'll get you in there. We'll get a couple people to go up there with you.
that's fine, we just wanna make sure we are able to get in there.
Will you give me your phone number so I can call you?
I can give you my email address.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd rather do
that'll be
that.
fine. That'll be fine. Okay.
Are we gonna make any, adjustment in the starting time for the meetings? No?
I was getting ready to bring that up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you. I know, I don't. There was a little voice back here.
Can I ask everybody, please, before you leave, please leave the, bank statements. They have account numbers on them. So please leave the bank statements here.
Damage is done now.
Damage is done now,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
yeah. Let's all go run and check on it. We can do it.
Yeah, I'll give them out if we're not allowed to keep it. I mean, everybody's already seen the information, so you won't get mine.
Well, if everybody in here is an honest person, you won't have that problem. You'll put the
Well,
papers
that's
back
the
on
problem
the
we're
table.
having there. Everybody in here is not honest.
With nothing further to
Actually, a lot of the residents have asked if we would consider changing the time back meetings to 7 o'clock instead of 7:30. Is that okay?
you have to make a motion, take the vote on it. That's actually part of council's procedures, so we would need a 2/3 vote to make the adjustment. So we need a motion, it's in the 1938.
Well, I would actually, I think that's probably inconsistent with state law now, because
Okay, alright, so we still need to take a vote.
We need the motion and second first.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we.
All right, I make a motion that council change its meeting times for work session and townhouse meetings back to Monday nights at 7 p.m.
Second.
The first and second Monday night.
Yes.
Does that work for you, Omar?
Lauren Holiday.
Omar, that work for you?
The earlier the better.
Early? No, but he works 2 jobs. So
Yeah, but he's got these 2 nights off.
not really.
Can you call the vote?
He took off the night. I'm trying to work with him.
And I call
How did he say?
I've got a motion on the floor and a second to change the time for our work session and our regular meeting back to 7 o'clock. Rollins,
Yay.
O'Berry,
No.
Smith, Wilson, no. Kinsley, Byers,
Yeah.
Brown. Motion passes. Starting next month, we will be moving back to 7 o'clock.
Did you see?
Alright, with no further business to discuss, we are adjourned.
All right, me take care, bud.